स्वाध्याय टीवी। डॉक्टर बाबा साहेब आंबेडकर ओपन यूनिवर्सिटी।
Namaskar. I, Dr. Himanshu Patel, welcomes you all from the Chaitanya studio of Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Open University on mobile application development using Android lecture series. Today we are on 4th session. In last session we have learned Android Studio interface, how to create Android virtual device into Android Studio. We have created one example Android application in Android Studio and run this application into newly created Android virtual device. In today's session, we will learn what about Android application project structure, how to customize our code environment, and we will look at some of the important Android terminology. We also discuss what is activity and its life cycle in some great details. Let us start by project structure. Whenever you create project into Android, it creates some folder for you. These are the most important elements of the application structure. Whenever you create Android application, there are certain folders are created for you by the Android Studio. Now let us look what actually stored in all these folders, because we have not discussed how project structure is organized. So we will understand what are the content that are stored in different folders created by Android Studio whenever you create Android application project. So first is the build folder. What is there in build folder? It is a folder that contains compiled resources after building the application and the classes generated by the Android tool, such as the r.java file, which contains the reference to the application resources. So whenever you want to convert your application into executable file, you must build your application. So your application is built, then it generates certain files which includes reference for the resources that you have included in your app. For example, you may have layouts, menu, drawables or images. So all these references are included in this folder, which is named as a build. Next folder is a lib folder. Suppose you are using certain library files which is not part of Android project, then you must include that library into your application. So libs folder contains all the necessary library files for your application. Next folder is source main folder. This folder contains the sources of your application. That means all Java files are stored into this main folder and all the files you will usually work with are in this folder. So whatever Java file that represent your activity are stored in this source main folder, and it is stored in the package directory that you have specified while creating Android application. Inside this there is a subfolder called Java. As I mentioned, it actually stored all the Java classes organized inside package. So every class you create will be in project package namespace. So for example, if I using baou.edu.in as a project name, then there is a folder called baou. Inside that there is a folder called edu, and inside that there is a folder called in, and inside in there is a classes file available. So in src main Java subfolder there is a Java classes stored in package order. Next is a resource. A resource is a folder that contains project resources. A resources are normally stored as a XML file, which may be layout, menu or images. So everything you will store as a XML in Android resources. So Android resources are specified by XML file and they are stored inside resource folder. Next is a drawable folder, a folder which contains images used in your project. Now your project may contain images which are of different densities. So these are different drawable folders categorized into different screen densities, which may be high, low or medium, and depending on your image density you can organize your images into different folders which represent different resolution and densities. So, when we create your first project, you also created application icon. By default there is a icon for your application which is stored in this folder. You can have different icon, then you can store that icon into this folder and you can fetch that resource as a application icon in your project. Next is a layout. We already discussed what is layout. Layout represent your interface. How your controls are organized in user interface is specified by layout. So, all layout are XML files and these XML files are stored into layout folder of SRC main folder. Again menu is also resource. So, it is again stored in XML file and this XML file is stored into menu folder which is normally called menu.xml. So, all menu definition is stored in menu folder. By default Android creates single menu with name settings for you. Next is a values. Android suggests you to specify even string as a resource. You should create whatever string you have used in your project should be specified as a resource, and this is a mention inside string.xml file. Value is a folder that contains XML files that define sets of name value pair. These values can be color, string or style. You can specify your own color as a name and value pair. For example, title may be hello world. So, you can specify title as a name for string and hello world as a value for that string. You can store color, value or string inside, even style inside these values.xml file. Next is a Android manifest.xml file. This file is a very important file for your project because it generated automatically and it declares basic information needed by the Android system to run the application. For example, what is your package name, what is version of your application, what are the activities that are included in your project, what are the permissions required to execute this app, what are the intents or what is required hardware. For example, if you are using motion sensor for your application, then that hardware must be required is specified inside this Android manifest file, which is again XML file. And last is a build.gradle folder. So, this file is the script used to build our application. Whenever you build your application, it is executed according to these file settings and it is automatically generated by Android. So, now I hope you will get idea about project structure which we create in Android Studio. So, all these folder you must understand what are the content stored in all these folders, because Android organize the content depending on its content into different folders that we have discussed so far. Next is a code editor customization. We can customize our code editor by selecting these options: file, menu, then you have to go to settings option and inside that you have to select editor and then you can select color and font to display different size font and color for the font. So, this is how you can customize code editor colors and fonts. Next is a setting which is useful for showing quick help for your code. For that you have to go to file menu, then setting option, then editor, then you have to select general option and inside that you have to check this option called show quick dock on mouse move. You can also specify the delay by which help will be shown whenever mouse is moved over the code. This option is helpful for showing help whenever you will move your mouse over some code in your code editor. And you can have option for automatic code completion using control plus space. That means, if you do not remember the complete method name, you can just type few characters of the method and then you will press control space bar and it will automatically display all the methods or functions that starts with character you have specified. These are some of the options. There are many options available for code editor customization, but these are the some of the options that we have discussed and is most useful for you to customize your code editor. We will see how to do this in Android Studio later on, but right now you have to remember these three options. There is a certain terminology which is very important to actually understand the Android application. The very first terminology is a context. Application context is used to access settings and resources shared across multiple activity instances. By using context object, you can get all the details regarding particular activity. What is activity? What application performs is specified by activity. So, we can say activity is a task performed by the application. So, an Android application is a collection of tasks, each of which is called an activity. Individual task can be considered as a activity. So, whatever number of tasks you want to perform, you have to create that much number of activity, and for each activity you have to specify Java file. Intent is a asynchronous messaging mechanism to match task requested with the appropriate activity. Suppose one activity want to send message to the another activity. For example, consider game application. Whenever player achieves high score, it must be highlighted by the high score activity. So, the play activity sends this high score to the high score display activity, and then it can be displayed there. Exchange data between two applications. Intent are messaging mechanism used by the Android. Sometimes we require task which is a lengthy or which does not require user intervention. For example, to fetch your emails in background, it does not require any user intervention. So, services are tasks that do not require user interaction, and it can be encapsulated inside services. Services can be represented as a background task. You might be aware about Windows services. So, it is also there in application development. Services is represented as a background task. Now, let us understand activity by game application example. Whenever you start some game, it normally displays startup screen, splash screen, which may be represented by activity. Initially, startup screen is displayed for some time, and then you are moved to the main menu. So, main menu can be another activity which may start after splash screen or splash screen activity, and inside main menu there may be option for displaying high score, to actually play the game, to know about the game or what are the rules and how to control the game parameters. So, you can specify all these as a 5 different activity, one for splash screen, another for main menu, another for high score, another for actually play the game, and last one is maybe help or about the game. This is how your Android apps is designed around activity. Now, whenever different activity is started, it is stored in a stack. A stack is a data structure which is follows the order last in first out or LIFO. For example, if you start contact and do not close contact and then you start message, that message comes into foreground and contact goes into background. So, we can say a message is above the contact or at the top of stack. Here on the screen you can see 4 activities. Top activities user can see and interact with. Next is the second activity. Suppose first activity goes into background, then second activity comes into foreground and user can see this activity if first activity goes into background. Third activity can be only seen if 2 activities goes into background. So, at a time there is only one activity which may be there on the top of stock, and user can only see and interact with these activity. Suppose there are many activities and stack is full or memory is full, then that last activity in stack may be destroyed by the Android automatically. Every application is stored inside a stack, and activity which is on the top of stack may be seen and interact by the user. Let us look at the life cycle of Android activity. Activity is represented by activity class. So, here we write down public class my activity, extend activity. So, my activity is the name that you have specified for activity while creating your project, and it extends activity means it represent activity class or subclass of activity class. There are few methods available which represent life cycle of activity. Whenever you load or start your activity, first method called is on create. Now, if activity is killed for memory reason and if restarted, this bundle object which is argument for on create contains the previous state information for activity, so that it can be reinitiated. What to write down inside on create? It is appropriate to perform any setup such as layout and data binding in the on create method. For example, you want to display splash screen, then you can specify set content view and name of splash screen layout file inside these on create method. Next method is a on start. On start is immediately started after on create. Normally first on create is called, then called start. Suppose your activity reaches the top of the activity stack and becomes the foreground process, then it will call on resume method. What to write down inside on resume is the appropriate place to start audio, video and animation that is available in your activity. On resume is only called whenever activity comes from background to foreground, and whenever you start another activity from within activity, that activity is paused and another activity resume or starts. Pause is called whenever you stop your activity temporarily. You are not closing the activity, but you are moving or starting another activity. On pause method can also be the last chance for the activity to clean up and release any resources. It does not need while in the background. So, whenever it goes into background, before that it called on pause method, and when you close your application, then on stop and on destroy method is called. On destroy method is called for one of the two reasons. Once the activity has completed its life cycle voluntary, that is task is finished, and activity is may be killed by the Android operating system because it needs the resources. So, either Android can destroy your application or it may be completed voluntarily or it completed after finishing whatever the task required. This is a life cycle of activity. We can conclude that every project in Android Studio has a well organized project structure, and there are many folders contained inside project structure, and every folder contains different types of data that is helpful for organizing your project. We can customize code editor window. There is a important terminology called context, activity, intent and services, and every activity stored in stack and has a life cycle methods. Now, let us learn at a sample project folder that we have created earlier. So, here is a project that I have created last time, and let us look at its project structure. So, this is a highlighted folder called app, and you can see inside this there is a build, libs, source, main and all other folders that we have discussed so far. So, you can see inside app there is a build folder that we already discussed. There is a lib folder. Right now, we have not used any library. So, this folder is empty. We have source folder, inside that there is a main folder, inside which there is a Java folder, and inside Java folder all your source file are organized as a package structure. For example, our package is in.edu.baou.android sample, and we have specified the name of activity as a welcome activity. So, here you can see in code editor there is a welcome activity.java file is there. So, this is a project structure for your application. Build folder contains all the executable and references for your resources. Gradle is used to store script for executing your project. This is how your project is organized inside Android Studio. We have discussed how to customize your code edit. Suppose I want to make font larger, then I have to go to file menu, then settings, and inside settings we have to go to editor. Inside that we have to select color and font, and inside that you have to select font. So here is a 24 size, I can make it 32 also. So you can see in preview there is a font size is now changed to 32. We can also set different font for our code by selecting these font. Now Android is currently fetching all the font available in the system. So here you can see the list of fonts that are available. Suppose I want to use these font, then I can either press apply or OK. Now you can see the font size is changed to a larger font. Now there is an option for automatically displaying help. Right now I am putting my cursor on set content view method, but it does not show any help. So how to get automatic help? For that we have to go to file, then settings, then general, and inside general there is a one option called show quick dock on mouse move. If you have not checked these option, then help will be not shown automatically, but by checking on these option, and here you can specify the delay for help, after how much time you want to display help, that you can specify as a millisecond. 500 millisecond means half second. Suppose I write down 1000, then it will be help will be shown only after 1 second. So I check this option and press OK. Now we move our mouse to this set content view. So it will automatically fetch help for this set content view whenever I move mouse for more than 500 milliseconds. This option is very much useful for displaying help. Now suppose I want autocomplete for my coding, I can press edit and then control space bar. So it will display anything which starts with edit. This is how you can quickly get help for the coding. Suppose I select edit text and press enter, that will be automatically displayed. So this is how you can customize your code environment window. Next time we will write down one application with coding, so you can have better idea. We will use simple controls like edit text, text view and button in next session. I hope you enjoy the session and this information is very much useful for you. Thank you and happy learning.
स्वाध्याय टीवी